60 years old, $1.2 million saved up in an IRA. Should I convert 100 grand a year for the next 12 years to get rid of RMDs completely? I've got that scenario and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Along the way, as you're building wealth during your career and you're saving up, you've got a choice to save up pre-tax, where you get a tax benefit today, a deduction today, or Roth, or after tax, where you don't get a tax benefit. Well, if you save up pre-tax, you know all this, just catching you up. If you save up pre-tax, once you get a deduction on your contributions, when it's in the account, it's all sheltered from tax. But then when you withdraw money, that's when you actually claim it as taxable income on your return. So the idea is, if you're making a lot of money during your career while you're saving up, get that deduction, and then you'll draw the money out in retirement when you're not working, your income's lower, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Well, there you go. So that's pre-tax. The approach with Roth is the exact opposite, and that is, I don't need the tax deduction today because I'm either in a low tax bracket, or I think I'll have higher income in the future, or I think tax rates will be higher in the future. I won't get the deduction. While it's in the account, it'll all be sheltered from tax, and then when I withdraw the money, I won't pay any tax. The growth will come out tax-free as long as I am eligible, which is, I've had a Roth IRA for 5 years and I'm age 59 and a half. So that's the decision we all have to make, we all get to make. And we say your financial plan needs to drive that decision. That can change every single year. That could change depending on changes in your overall financial situation, tax rules, Congress, all sorts of things influence this. Well, once you reach age 73 now, in the future it will be 75, and who knows, they might change it again. But once you reach a certain age, if you're not drawing enough out of those pre-tax retirement accounts, or maybe not drawing anything, you're forced to. You're forced to. And this is required minimum distribution, where the government said, listen, we made a deal. I let you deduct this money from your taxes, but you can't avoid paying tax on it forever. We're going to force you to start drawing some money out, at least by a certain age. And listen, if you are already drawing enough out in those retirement years, and you're drawing out more than what you're required to, then you're fine. But for many people, they've been able to save up a lot, or they've got other sources of income, or, and many people forget this, or you've reached a point in your retirement where my lifestyle's gone down. I'm not traveling as much. I'm not doing as much. I've hit these slow go or no go years of retirement, and yet, so I don't need to draw all this money out. And yet, because of required minimum distribution, you're forced to. There's all sorts of side effects there can be to required minimum distribution. Could push you in a higher tax bracket, could cause more of your Social Security to be taxable, all sorts of things that either are trade-offs or are things that you should plan for and try to avoid. And obviously, that applies to pre-tax. Your Roth accounts, there is no RMD. There's no required minimum distribution. And even if they created one out there in the future, there's no tax consequence to it. So a lot of people, as they come in and they're doing financial planning, once you've reached that point of, yep, you're on track to retire, you've saved up enough, and we're in that stage of kind of managing your overall financial life, it's then, how can I avoid or minimize the impact of Social Security? Heard this scenario recently, someone that is 60 years old, $1.2 million saved up in their retirement account, and they are so fearful of RMDs, or maybe they've heard so much of the negatives that they said, I've got an idea. How about I convert? So I move money from this pre-tax account over to the Roth account. I transfer that money. You can do that transfer. It's taxable, but it's called a Roth conversion. How about I convert $100,000 per year from my IRA to my Roth? That'll be $100,000 a year, and not counting any growth. That will mean by the time I'm 73, I'll have $0 left in my IRA, no RMD. See, I've solved the problem. Should you do that? Well, unlikely. Very, very unlikely should the goal be to get rid of all of your pre-tax retirement dollars. And a couple reasons for that is, right now, if you didn't have any pre-tax retirement income, if you didn't have any taxable income, then you would be you'd have a big standard deduction, some other deductions that you'd never use. So essentially, if you converted dollars throughout your career, it's likely, or up until age 72, it's likely you paid tax on some dollars that otherwise would have been able to be tax-free because of a standard deduction. So that's a blanket statement that it's unlikely that the goal should be to get rid of, and convert your entire IRA. I say it's unlikely, not no, you'd never do that, because everyone's financial situation is different. If you have other income or maybe an inheritance or other factors, you are going to want to work with your CFP looking at all 6 areas of your financial life, and you'll be able to decide, well, does that strategy make sense for you or not? For the most part, that's unlikely, okay? Here's how you should calculate or determine whether that makes sense for you or not. And it all deals with planning, but it's looking at many of the 6 areas of your financial life. The first is your present financial position. And this is, at age 60, how much do you think you're going to need for income to meet your spending goals or to live the lifestyle that you want? Now, that's harnessed within your present financial position, because even at age 60, you can take a look and say, well, what's my lifestyle right now? And not to the penny, I'm not talking about a really specific budget. It can be that detailed, doesn't need to be. How much income's coming in right now? And are you spending all of that income, or are you saving some of it? And of that spending, how much of that spending will be the same in retirement and how much will be different? And even if numbers aren't your thing, that's why you have a CFP. They are going to help you calculate, all right, well, here's what I think your income needs will need to be in retirement, or here's how much we think you're going to spend in retirement. Got to start there. Second, this is a blend between both investment planning and retirement planning. You've got to then project out, well, okay, this $1.2 million, if I don't do anything, what is it expected to grow to by the time I'm 73, by the time I have to start drawing required minimum distributions? What's the expected growth rate? How much do we think will be in this account, period? And then you have to connect that to that overall retirement plan, which is looking at all 5 factors of your retirement to say, well, yes, it could grow to that amount based on how we're going to invest it, but you're going to be drawing dollars out of that to supplement Social Security, and therefore, what value do we think this IRA is going to be at by the time you're age 73? This is then connected to another area of the 6 areas of your financial life, your tax planning. This is not tax preparation, this is tax planning, being proactive. Therefore, to determine whether you should do a lot of Roth conversions, or in this example, a Roth, convert your entire IRA over a period of years, you want to do a multi-year tax projection, because that will tell you out there in retirement, here's what tax bracket you're expected to be in based on the income sources you'll have and the withdrawals from your IRA and so on to meet your lifestyle. This is the expected tax picture. And yes, tax rates could change and deductions could change. And yeah, we're aware of all of that. But based on current laws, this is where it looks like you'll be. That's 4 different areas of all, the 6 areas of your financial life. That is also going to kind of touch on the 5th area, and that's protection planning. At that stage, will you be subject to IRMA, income-related monthly adjustment amount, where you could pay a surcharge on your Medicare Part B, whether you're on traditional Medicare or Medicare Advantage? And also, if you conversely say, no, I do want to do Roth conversions each year, how much of the IRMA am I going to be subjecting myself to all along the way just to avoid it from then on in the future? So that's 5 areas of your financial life that your CFP is going to look at to help you determine, well, should you do these Roth conversions every year? Should you do a lesser amount, or should you do none at all? That's the way you're going to answer the question. Now, the 6th area of your financial life also can't be ignored in this calculation or this analysis either, and that is your estate plan. What is projected from your financial plan? What's projected for your overall net worth and estate at the end of your life, at your life expectancy? And if there's still dollars in this pre-tax account, they would then transition to your heirs. What tax picture might they be in? What financial situation might they be in? Would they be potentially in a higher tax situation than you are, therefore doing some Roth conversions early would make sense. This is either terribly geeky or absolutely exhilarating, depending on your interests, right? It is exhilarating to us, all of our CFPs. We love this analysis And taking these sorts of questions, should I convert $100,000 a year for the next 12 years and completely zero out my IRA? Like I said, it's unlikely. There are times where maybe rare circumstances you might want to consider that, but it is unlikely. For the rest of us, take a planful approach as well. Or instead, look at all 6 areas of your financial life and see, well, should I be doing any Roth conversions late in my career? May not make sense. Early in retirement may absolutely make sense. And how far should I get my IRA or my pre-tax dollars down to? Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, and if you don't have one that absolutely loves doing that sort of analysis, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com, you can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.